Hello, planet Earth. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're at IDK, my BFF Jill 730.
My BFF Jill 730.
I'm Preston L. Young, wishing you warm salutations and congratulations as always. You've made your way to the Buffington Post. And today it's time for the Buffington Post recap and review for Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 10, issue number 26. It's Own It, Part 1, Home Sweet Hell. Alright, so I actually really like both of these covers that we've got this month. I like the more artsy one with Buffy given the Slayer-style shakedown. And I also like the variant done by the lovely Rebecca Isaacs. So glad you're back, Rebecca. Which is Buffy and Spike and the book and DeHoffrin, and it's just bad news for her, which is what the issue's all about, right? But before we get into it, previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
All season long, we've been dealing with these new rules of magic that have come about since Willow kind of planted this new seed of wonder. So they've been writing these rules in the Vampyr book that Giles left to Buffy after he died but before he was resurrected as a preteen. All of the magical beings in the world want a say in what goes into this new rule magic book so that Buffy won't just put all of the odds in her own favor, and so the Magical Council from Season 9 has been brought back in with DeHoffrin kind of at the head. Now DeHoffrin and his Magical Council, along with the vampires and Willow herself, have kind of been in cahoots with the US military, and Buffy reluctantly decided to allow for DeHoffrin and his friends to all have these kind of executive powers to make the slaying easier. The Calamari Glutton and his mistress had opened this crazy portal to hell that could only be closed if Dawn went on the other side, because wham bam poof, Dawn has these like godlike magical key powers, and she and Xander stayed on the other side of the portal in order to close the rift and keep that dimension at bay. Nobody was very happy about leaving Dawn on the other side in hell, but that's what we had to do. And it turned out that this ghost Anyanka that we've been seeing all season was actually created by DeHoffrin, because DeHoffrin killed the Calamari Glutton and the Soul Mistress in order to take their place as our big bad and get the Vampyr book so that he can rule reality.
That's pretty much what you need to know, and so without further ado, let's jump into Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 10, issue number 26. It's Own It, Part 1, Home Sweet Hell. Here we go.
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. I don't care, I'm still free. You can't take the sky from me. Take me out to the black, tell them I ain't coming back. Burn the land and boil the sea. You can't take the sky from me. There's no place I can be since I found serenity. But you can't take the sky from me.
So this issue opens up with Dawn and Xander, who are in Anara, this crazy hell dimension, and basically she's figuring out her key powers and what exactly they're capable of, and Xander is reassuring her that Willow has to go through dimensions all the time and bring back new magic and find sexy snake ladies and all this good stuff, so they're totally gonna get rescued, you know? So they're looking for something more substantial than these nasty mushrooms to eat, and Xander goes to ask this demon, like, hey, do you know where anything good to eat is? And the demon's like, yeah, you! Dawn uses her crazy god key powers in order to basically shrink this guy down real quick and give him a stern talking to and let him know who the god is in town. But her stern talking to is kind of cut short by the acid rain that comes down all over the place, and they try and take cover in this acid rain situation. So meanwhile, back in our world, Buffy and Spike have left San Francisco and are actually at this like magic dealer guy, like a magical arms dealer basically, who gets all of his stuff from the black market and all kind of dimensions, and they're shaking down this place trying to get information on how to get to this Anara world that Dawn is in. This guy explains to us that basically Anara is like the boonies, this like total ghetto of a dimension, and he doesn't know where it is because he's never had any reason to go there because it doesn't have anything worth getting. And so basically he concedes to make a list of these like demons that owe the Calamari Glutton and the Soul Mistress a debt, and Buffy won't tear up so much of his store. So back in Hell, it turns out that when you are in an undeveloped world, you might worship a carpenter as a god, because basically Xander builds this gable roof for them to get under because all of their houses were like collecting this acid rain, which like ate through the roofs, but Xander was like, hey, if your roof is slanted, then you can still like have your houses and stuff. So Buffy has returned from Los Angeles, and she is upset to see that Willow and Giles have not had any more luck than she has. Willow basically says that Lake and the government guys don't know too much about dimension hopping as it is, and, Alwyn, when she broke up with her, most of the witches in the coven stopped talking to her. Giles explains that the tree, fairy folk, they have this, tree domain, and they don't know anything about Inara because it doesn't have any trees. So Buffy's like, that's your problem. You're off trying to, worry about this new lake, and you're worried about your new fairy girlfriend. You're too worried about your new relationships, and you're not focusing on Dawn. And Spike's like, dude, that's not fair. They haven't had any more luck than we've had, and we've had absolutely none. So cut them a little slack. And Willow says, yeah, don't talk to me like that again. I realize you're frustrated, but hello. Giles goes off on her about how she's not dealing with the threat of the soul glutton and the siren mistress and all the demons they led in, and she's too worried about Dawn when that could actually help to expedite the process of finding Dawn if they go ahead and solve this one problem. But no, Buffy says, I'm just gonna write it in the book. You know what? I'm gonna take this book, I'm gonna write it in there. And Spike says, hey, don't do that. And she basically is like, oh, you get on me for leaving Dawn in hell, and then when we have this sure way to get her out, you get on me some more. And Willow says, hey, look, dude, Spike's got a point. We can't just go contradicting rules that we've written in the book. We could tear reality apart and God knows what else. Buffy concedes to keep at what they are doing for at least the next couple of weeks, and if they really need to, they will use the book to bring Xander and Dawn back from hell, where they're actually doing pretty well because Xander's talking with the demons, getting them to talk about their feelings, and one of them has this total breakthrough in the middle of hell. He's given them all this sage Dr. Mike advice, and Dawn's just kind of looking on oh, Xander. So back in our hell, Buffy's just feeling bad about herself up in Dawn's room, looking at pictures, whatever. Willow says, hey, the Magic Council's gonna be here soon, and Buffy's like, whatever, and Willow's like, okay, dude, we need to have a united front when we meet with the Magical Council, because if we're gonna write this stuff in the book, if they can't help us find Dawn, then we need to have agreed upon what exactly we're going to write in there, okay? And Buffy's just like, tell me when they get here. Willow says, okay, well, D'Hoffryn is gathering them all up now, and by that, I guess D'Hoffryn meant going and systematically killing all of the different members of the Magical Council. And D'Hoffryn is just looking super all-powerful and scary and D'Hoffryn-y. So back in hell, Xander and the demons there have put on this play reenactment of the movie The Princess Bride, and Dawn's like, yay, everybody loves it. And Dawn's just so touched that, Xander would have them put on this little play for her, and it's making her feel like she's more at home, even though she's totally in hell. And they go and hold hands, and it's real sweet for Xander and Dawn. And so the demons are commenting on how great these outsiders are, Xander and Dawn, and how they've done so much for them, right? And then they start talking about these other outsiders who are not nice, and they suck because they are the lawyers of Wolfram Hart, and the lawyers know that Xander and Dawn are there, and they call up the senior partners to tell them. So back in San Francisco, D'Hoffryn shows up at Buffy's apartment. He's like, the other Magical Council is here in spirit. Let's just get this done. And Buffy says, okay, well, we want to write in the book that Dawn just comes home. And basically, D'Hoffryn's like, oh yeah, this book that I can touch, even though there's these magical enchantments on it. So everybody realizes that this is not what should be going down, and Willow's like, you need to drop the book, back the heck off. So they all attack D'Hoffryn, but it turns out that this motherfucker is basically invulnerable because the clause that they wrote into the magic rule book when they gave the Magical Council their executive powers was basically that if one of them died or was stripped of their powers, then their power would be evenly distributed amongst the other members of the council. And basically, they all had their backs turned when D'Hoffryn came and killed them and absorbed all of their collective power. And so now he's this fucking super being. Buffy's like, holy crap, you've been playing us this whole time. And D'Hoffryn's like, duh, I'm this ancient demon, vengeance demon, and you didn't think I would betray you? Come on. This is why you don't deserve to have the book. I'm gonna take the book and take good care of it because you obviously can't do a good job with it. And you know what? You don't pose a threat to me, so I'm not gonna kill you. And, to be honest, I kind of like you, so I'm gonna leave, and you better just hope that you don't hear from me again. So D'Hoffryn's got the book, and he's gonna do God knows what with it, basically control reality and bend it to however D'Hoffryn likes it, and Buffy, Spike, Willow, and Giles are all just like... And that's where we end the issue. Holy shit, where do I start? Let's start with Wolfram and Hart. Okay, I have been wondering where the senior partners and Wolfram and Hart are this whole time. I was like, why haven't we seen them now that we have magic back? What's up with Wolfram and Hart? Where are they? Well, I mean, they're kind of everywhere except in our books lately, and so it makes total sense that they would be in Anara. I love this development. It's going to be really interesting, and yeah, maybe the senior partners will help Dawn and Xander get out of hell. Yeah, it's a very senior partnery thing to do. Xander and Dawn, loving them in hell. I think this is what they've been needing all season, is just to take a vacation together, right? I like that Dawn understands the responsibility of her different key powers, and she talks about how she can't just open up a new portal even though she really could, and she's really weighing the consequences of her actions in a very smart and adult way, which I like.
We will return for the second half of Days of Our Lives in just a moment.